Hello and welcome to the short Vort on Parsha Shemini. This week's topic is about choice and blessings. Last night I received my vaccine from Johnson & Johnson, and before they gave me the shot, I was given a choice. Which arm would I like to have the shot put into? They suggested the weaker arm, but I had already decided before I came that I was going to put it into my right arm because that is the arm that I used to put on my tefillin, and I didn't want to risk taking a shot in my tefillin arm, the left arm, the weaker arm. That would make it difficult to put on the tefillin in the next day if something went wrong. I make the same choice when I go to an event where they stamp your hand so that you can get back in as proof of payment. I always give them my right hand because in case the ink doesn't come off, it won't be a chatzitza for tefillin the next morning. To me, those are easy decisions. Today, I'd like to share a story that's from Aleinu Sefer Aleinu Leshabeach by Rabbi Silberstein. It's on Pasuk Chav Beis and Parak Tes of Shemini, and it says Vayikra. It's talking there that Aaron HaKohen blessed the Bnei Yisrael. Rabbi Silberstein there brings a story about a Yemenite Jew who had this special power to give brachos and that they would often be fulfilled. It didn't seem that he was anything special otherwise as far as being a Jew. Perhaps the way we can understand this is by what this Yemenite's relative said, that when the Yemenite Jew was 25 years old in Yemen, he was falsely accused of stealing, and the punishment there is to have an arm cut off, a hand cut off. And despite his protestations of innocence, they convicted him and they said that his hand will be cut off. But because he had no prior record, they gave him the unusual clemency that he could choose which hand would be cut off. He asked for a few days and they gave it to him, and he thought about it. He was going back and forth between, should I take off my left hand, that's my tefillin hand, or should I take off my right hand and that way I can save my tefillin, my left hand for the tefillin, but then I won't be able to perform other mitzvos and daily activities as well. But he was deciding it as a halachic choice to follow Hashem's will. Rabbi Silberstein suggests that perhaps this is why he was in merit of this great decision, the choice that he was going through, the Shem Shemayim, despite all this terrible situation he was in. For that he merited this power to have his tefillos and his blessings responded to and received by Hashem. I think this connects to this week's Daf Yomi in Shekalim, Daf Tes Vav. We mentioned somewhat of a related topic regarding the saintly Nachum Ish Gamzu. Why is he called Ish Gamzu? The Gemara in Taanis on Daf Chav Aleph says that the primary reason given is because no matter what the situation, even if it seemed bleak, he would also always say, Gamzu l'tova, this is for the best. In Shekalim, the Gemara discusses him because there was an indigent man who came after Nachum, who died after Nachum tarried in giving him food. And because of that action, Nachum chose to pray to Hashem that both his hands and his feet would be cut off. And that would be a kapara for the inaction that these arms and legs did, his hands and feet that did. So for him, he considered this Yisurim to be a good thing because it brought atonement for the sins. So he always looked at things positively. So it turns out that the Yemenite Jew, because he chose to focus on what Hashem wanted, despite the false allegations facing him, in the end, these allegations were Gamzu l'tova. As a result, he didn't lose his hand, and he would gain the power of blessing to help people and have his tefillos fulfilled. Both these two men had unusual powers of tefillah. Nachum Ish Gamzu, his tefillah in this case was even answered that he would lose his hands and feet, but he always looked at it as a positive. The takeaway from this, I think, is let us remember the great power of tefillah, and that b'li neder we will choose to focus on concentration when we daven in our prayers, and in our blessings. So that we'll also, like Nachum is Gamzu, we should also remember that everything is for the best. In the long term, whatever happens, Hashem does is for the best. May the vaccine work, and may the Magefa end soon. Share, like, and subscribe. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful week and a wonderful Shabbos.